Hello, everyone. My name is Teresa McCalman, and I am currently running for to be your representative in New York State 49th Senate District. And this is our third or fourth town hall. I've lost count. I think this is the 100th day of March. If anyone knows what day it is, and that would be really nice to know. Just joking. All right, so what we usually do, give you a simpler breakdown of Governor Cuomo's press conference earlier today. And I know not maybe about 25 minutes ago, Pelosi also did a live. She was on a call, and she just spoke about Medicaid cuts and other things. I kind of caught it late, so I don't have very much information on that, but just want to point that out. So I'm going to do a couple of things, talk about Cuomo's press conference, and when I look over to the side, I'm looking at my notes because I want to make sure that I am staying on topic, and a couple of things that are more specific to our district and what's more important to us. I want to also point out that if you're going to host a watch party, let me take off my glasses. I always do this because there's a glare. If you're going to host a watch party, just know that I cannot see the questions or comments in your watch party. If someone asks a question or has a comment, and if you could just read, you can suggest to some of your viewers to actually go to my Facebook and make a comment on the live stream itself. Not to take away viewers from your watch party, but I just want to make that clear. Okay, that's just my team putting up some numbers. Okay, so let's get into this. Cuomo's press conference for today, March 31st. Some of the numbers: 89,197 total tests have been done, and 9,892 new tests. Recently, 7,277 in Rockland County, 739 new tests. In Rockland, 35,623 in Westchester, 1,515 new in Westchester. 75,795 total cases of COVID-19. 5,686 new cases. There are 2,863 in Rockland County, 352 new in Rockland County, 9,967 in Westchester, and 641 new cases in Westchester. I actually just got off of a conference call with a woman who's running in Westchester County Let me see, what did I wrote her name down. Give me 2 seconds. I want to make sure that I mention her. I'll get back to that. But yeah, she's in my notes somewhere. I've been in like 5,000 different meetings today. But she spoke about how difficult it is actually running. I mean, all of us who are campaigning, who are candidates or new candidates or even incumbents, it's very difficult campaigning during this time. And she has spoke about her unique situation down there in Westchester. There are 10,929 out of 75,795 hospitalized. I think I think that means so I think there's a total of 75,795 hospitalized. Don't use and or slash for me, please, thank you. 2,710 out of 10,929 ICU patients. 4,975 have been discharged. That is up 771. I actually really appreciated the governor mentioning the actual people who have been discharged. I'm not sure if that means recovered, but I think either recovering or recovered enough that they didn't need to stay in the hospital, and that there's been a positive increase in that of 771. We keep mentioning how many more people are getting, who are actually being diagnosed with COVID-19, including the governor's brother this morning. But I think that we also need to balance that out with, with the positive, like who has recovered, how many more people have recovered. And also there's been, that being said, there's 1,550 deaths, up from 1,218. I do apologize for that. I may have to switch around those bullet points, put the deaths first and then the positives last. I'd like to end on a positive note. He mentioned ventilators. I know people are like, ventilators. Like, you're probably dreaming about ventilators, even though most of us have probably never seen a ventilator. I have, but those of us who have never worked in a medical field probably have never seen them, never heard of them before, and that seems to be all we're talking about besides COVID-19. Well, with COVID-19 ventilators and the need, he said, and he's been saying this, nothing's changed, 20,000 and 40,000. He's got 6,500 existing downstate, and I know he talked about a splitter, and there's a tube that would actually go to 2 different patients, but it's connected actually to the ventilator tubes, and using one ventilator for 2 patients. And in my mind, I'm trying to see how that would work, and I'm thinking they would alternate the breath, so the access to that. I guess that's a misnomer right now. So 6,500 existing downstate, 4,400 from the federal government, 2,400 in New York City, 800 in state stockpile, 1,000 already distributed from the state stockpile. So I know the other day he mentioned that, he has the stockpile and it's not really being touched, but it's not being touched, I think, to a capacity where you need to be like, oh, we've used all 30,000. Thank God we do not need all 30,000 right now. But he's just mentioning that some are being used. So 17,000 ventilators have been ordered. 2,600 to be here in the next 3 weeks. And I know yesterday the USNS Comfort has actually reached New York City. So I'm really looking forward to see what if we're going to use that bed capacity immediately and medical staff capacity. Thank you to my campaign manager for actually making this little extra bullet point here. 1.5 million N95 masks, 3.6 million surgical masks, 1.68 million exam gloves, 240,000 gowns, 188,000 face shields. So I was also watching the president's address on this, and he said, "Where are the masks going? Why, why are they being thrown out?" And he said that he spoke with some company that's actually going to sterilize the masks. Hey, Patrick. And who is this? Anyone else say anything? Sorry, I'm not really paying attention to the comments just yet. But please do post questions or comments. My team will be watching, and if I miss any, they'll answer. But okay, so back to the N95 masks. So he mentions these masks, and he asks, why are they being thrown out? I worked in nursing for 6 years, and I mean, I would think that common knowledge would be you use a mask when you go into a patient with an infectious disease, and you get rid of the gloves, the masks, and you also get rid of your gown, which everyone now understands PPE equipment. You get rid of all of that stuff and you move on to the next. It depends if you're in isolation unit or not, what you do with your gown. But with masks, you don't. Then I'm going to the next patient and I'm just touching them with the same gloves that I just touched that other patient with. All right, I think I had a mini migraine attack when he said, "Why are we throwing out masks?" And the fact that he reached out to companies to see if they could actually clean, sterilize these masks. It's a concept. I just want to see how that's going to work out. Okay. So, just wanted to do that little tidbit. Sorry, I go off on my tangents. Okay, so I really appreciate these bullet points, Kate. Thank you so much for that little bit of New York stockpile. Okay, so facilities needed between 70,000 and 140,000 beds. I'm assuming that's what she meant. Javits Center has 2,500 in their capacity, and that's non-COVID beds. And I'm curious to know what he's going to do with that. The USNS Comfort, like I said, is there, and it has about 1,000 non-COVID beds currently. And he's developing central coordinating team to coordinate hospital transfers. He actually met for the first time with all the hospital heads, and he said that, pretty much implored them to actually work together, stop working as separate units, and figure out a way to actually share, which I think is a situation. All right, central coordinating team. I'm not going to go over this too much, but I do want to get to the volunteers. And a lot of this information you'll find on our website, teresaforsenate.com, on our COVID page, COVID-19 page. We have anything and everything that the governor says today, we update every single day. So you can find everything in one place. We have resources, reliable resources. This is not something that your Uncle Joe, your Aunt Kathy shared on Facebook or Twitter or something. This is actual information from the CDC, the WHO, from the governor, on our website. So only reliable. And also within the 49th Senate District, every update that we could possibly find from your section of the county or the district, anything that's happening in your city, your town, your village, we have actually tried to make sure that it's all located in one spot, so you can just go there, COVID-19, click on your city, town, or village, and get an update on exactly what's happening. And I'm going to speak to a couple of updates on that as well. Actually, let me do that first before I go on to the volunteer numbers, since I already mentioned certain cases. Locally, we have 90 cases in Schenectady, 1 death, 108 cases in Saratoga and 1 death. In Hamilton County, we have 2 cases, no deaths as of this broadcast. Herkimer County, we have 12 cases and 2 deaths, unfortunately. So it's a total of 4 deaths in our district. And it hurts me to the core to know that these people have died from this virus. Even though I don't know them, it still hurts because it could be any one of us. Just like the governor said earlier, this virus is a great equalizer, and like his brother is infected. Like, it doesn't matter how much money you have, how much power you think you have, or who you think you are. This virus is non-discriminate. Okay, so on to the volunteers. So the last time we spoke, or the last time I spoke and you listened, we had a total of 60,000. I think we had an increase of almost 2,000 volunteers, healthcare volunteers, and 6,000 mental health professionals who had volunteered during this time. Thank you all again. Thank you so much. I've worked in the medical field before, and I know the sacrifice that you're making, and I do appreciate everything that you're doing, and I also appreciate your family for allowing us you at this time. Thank you so much. It says here, he's launching a portal today to link volunteers, and I know there was a concern on screening volunteers, and I know also today he mentioned actually bringing some of our medical professionals from hospitals and medical centers up here, upstate New York, to help out in New York City. Understand that he's saying that if you do not have an influx of need in your medical building or medical center or hospital, if you could spare. At least that was my understanding from his words. So he's also launching a portal today to link volunteers to local hospitals, and it'll be broken down by region and discipline, prioritizing, of course, the hospitals that need the most help right now. And it also is he's also prioritizing the downstate regional professionals more so than upstate, and more so than out of state, which makes sense since the majority of the need seems to be clustered in New York City and those surrounding counties and boroughs. The budget, there was a few final questions to him about the budget, which we all want to know what's happening, especially with state worker paychecks and all. And he said that pretty much, I don't think he's going to allow anything for bail reform. I know we're all like saying there shouldn't be any Medicaid cuts. We need that right now. So hopefully, in his new position as everyone's heartthrob right now because of his Cool, Calm, and Collective live streams, that he realizes that we actually need Medicaid for those of us who do not have access to health care. And this would be the right time for Medicare for all, definitely. And I don't think that we will see legalization of marijuana in this budget right now. But he said that there's no update because we need to finish the budget in order to make a comment on the budget, right? All right. And that's pretty much it. Like I said, if you have any other specific questions, we have a lot of resources on our website, teresaforsenate.com, and we update it every single day. At least by 3 p.m., you'll see that information updated. As soon as he's done with his press conference, we go in and we update all the information according to county and according to whatever information he has changed from his previous reports. Okay, just four things that I want to touch upon. Rent, mortgage, and unemployment. and rainbows. And maybe something about homeschooling and food pantries, but mostly rent and mortgage. So a lot of people, I was on another web conference with in regards to rent strike with Jamaica Miles, organizing that, all of us. Um, I think I'm saying that right. All of us, rent strike. And a young woman, I should say a woman, she mentioned that her older children are now moving into her home. She has a total, I think she says 12 people now. And that's her older children and her grandchildren and her younger children living all in one house. Because her older children, who were already out on their own with their own children, said that their landlord said, pay the rent or get out. Hey, Noni, pay the rent or get out. Which at this time, and I'm glad that the really, really happy that the governor said this, aside from everything else, that he said that he has put off evictions. No one should be or can be evicted at this time. I understand the point of view from landlords and also tenants, but we are all on the same level right now. Mortgages can be furloughed. You need to speak to, and this is going for property owners and income investors who have tenants. You need to speak to your loan servicer or your bank and let them know that you can't evict your tenants. They can't pay because they've been laid off because of what's going on. And if they don't know this, I don't know what planet they're on, but the entire planet right now, this planet Earth, is going through this. So either they're purposefully ignoring what's going on or they're just heartless. But they should know that your tenants are not going to pay rent, which means they're not going to get their mortgage if you own mortgage on your property. So for those who own property and have tenants, contact your bank or your loan servicer and let them know that you want to do a mortgage modification. And what will happen is that for the 3 months, you're not going to receive rent because that's how much the executive order says that rent has been extinguished. For those 3 months, that they can take that 3 months of rent payment, or mortgage, I should say, and put it on the back end of your loan. Or you can figure out something else. Just speak to your bank. Please, please, for the love of all that's human, don't harass your tenants. You have absolutely no idea, unless you ask. Please do, if they offer the information. You have no idea how this is affecting them. And no one should be struggling to pay rent right now. No one should be struggling to pay rent at this time. No one should be stressed over paying rent at this time. I even got a note from National Grid they sent a letter saying that we understand what's happening. We're not going to ask you to pay any back bills. We're not going to ask you, where's the bill? We know and we understand, so don't worry about it. We want to keep our workers safe and healthy, and we want to keep you safe and healthy. So they're providing service without harassing people. So I think as landlords that we should take this into consideration, 100%. I am lucky enough to have a landlord who understands this. He called me last week and said, I know what's going on with the rest of the tenants. I'm assuming it's going on with you too. There's no rent. Just don't worry about it. I'm going to call my bank and see what I can do. I didn't have to go through it. So I was lucky enough to have a very awesome, understanding landlord. Please, just stop harassing people for their rent. There's absolutely no reason why this woman should have her grown children with their own children in her home because a landlord is demanding rent. It makes absolutely no sense. There's a way to make sure that everyone is in their home and healthy and somewhat happy during this time and not feeling harassed. What about property taxes? My property taxes are higher than my mortgage. Maggie, I have no idea where you are in the district, but if you contact us at Teresa for Senate, that's how you spell my name, Teresa for Senate at gmail.com, then we can definitely figure something out. Every city is doing something different in regards to taxes. You cannot go in to actually pay your taxes and they don't want you to come in. Are you in the city of Schenectady? Okay, I think I have that actually on the website. There's a link to what Schenectady County and the city of Schenectady, are what they're doing. So you can go to teresaforsenate.com, or you can actually go to the city website, and they actually have a breakdown of what what's expected of you during this time. And actually, Maggie, you brought something up in my mind, so I just want to make a note of that before I forget. But I want to talk about the census later. So I'm sure all those resources my team has had. If you can't find it, you can give us an email, send us an email, and we can walk you through how to find it on the city's website. Okay? I hope that helps you. Going for senator. Thank you, Greg. All right, thanks, Greg. All right, so, and actually, I was actually thinking about that as well with taxes. You can't go in and pay your taxes. Because then you won't be 6 feet apart from someone. So every city, town, and village has figured something out. So, okay. That being said, let me see. Spoke about that, bail reform, rent, homeschooling. Okay, so I am so sorry, parents. I am a parent, and I have two teenagers right now. I've been on video conferences all day long and sitting here talking to people, listening to people, and my daughters are coming up and going, with notes and stuff. Just now, my daughter was asking me about ordering food and if we can and all the stuff. And so I understand the stress, and also in regards to having access to online information. That's internet access, and I know a lot of my future constituents are not able to actually join us right now for this live because they do not have internet access, or they do not have the internet access, internet speed capacity where they are to actually listen to this, or even look on the website to figure out where can they pay their taxes or what's going on with their mortgage or anything like that. So I do understand that, and especially with homeschooling students. Excuse me. I actually went to get two. Hold up a second. Sorry, allergy season for real. I actually went to get 2 laptops for my daughters and ask them how are we going to access all this information, because we don't have Wi-Fi at home. I don't have internet at all. We do mostly everything on our phones, and we don't watch TV. So I know that's really weird, but they said that they had hotspots, but the hotspots are actually on back order. And in Schenectady, because we just recently lost our superintendent, we're pretty much, I think if anything, I want to give a shout out and kudos to all of our school district staff that actually picked up the slack and did what needed to be done for our students during this time. I really appreciate everything, getting the online classes set up, getting the computers out to the students, getting food out to them, and all over the district, all the school districts who have done this. I do really appreciate that, and I know that our hotspots are on back order, and if you were lucky enough to get something before all the orders jumped in and you were able to get a Wi-Fi in your neck of the district, I'm happy for you, but I do understand the frustration of some parents. My daughter actually told me earlier that some of her high school some of her friends in high school actually just decided to give up. They're just like, I've just given up. It makes absolutely no sense to go to school, and I do feel for those students. I wish I could reach out to them and help them, but I just wanted to talk about that real quick. Okay, so I have a couple of things. Tomorrow, census is due. Please, please, please. It is very important that you actually get counted. If you want to breathe fresh air, you need to get counted. If you want to be able to walk down the street to a corner store or even be able to go to a food store, not live in a food desert, be able to even walk on a sidewalk, please, you need to get counted. You need to complete your census. You should have gotten something like this. Can everybody see that? You should have gotten something like this in the mail, or you could have gotten something like this in the mail. You see that? You could have gotten a bigger envelope like this in the mail. I have all three of these because I seem to be getting harassed by the Census Bureau, but I did fill out my census form, questionnaire. Please, please, please. The first is tomorrow. Please fill out your census. It is very, very, very important that you actually fill out your census. If not now, if you don't see the state of the world right now and what we're going through with funding, begging the federal government for funding and all, and asking our governor to please not to cut funding to education or Medicaid or anything like, or hospitals. If the state of our state right now is not convincing enough for you to actually fill out the census, I don't know what can be more convincing. I see a couple of questions. I have to give a huge shout out to Schenectady School District for their hard work during this time. Yes, Noni, definitely. And the loss of the superintendent are traumatic. Yes, it is. It is. Now, regarding census, I did not receive the mailer of any sort. How can I be counted? Oh, great question, Noni. I have that answer. So you need to go to 2020census.gov. You can put my 2020, so 2020 census.gov, and it may ask you for the code, because let me see if I have one that's open. I think I threw it out. So there's a code on these things, right? And they'll ask you to put that code in, but there's a little link below. If you did not receive one of these mailers and did not receive a code, you can actually click on that link and follow the prompts, and it'll show you how to fill out the census in order to be counted. So thank you so much, Noni, for that question. It's very, very, very extremely important that you actually do get counted. I think, let me see, I think therefore I am, right? I think that's everything. Any other questions? You're welcome, Noni. It is very important. So the young woman who's running for assembly is Kristen Browder out in Westchester. That's the name of the young woman who's she's got a really hard run out there, especially with New Rochelle being one of the epicenters of a big outbreak out there. Okay. Rainbows. I want to talk about 518 rainbows real quick. My daughter works with special needs individuals, and this is my oldest girl, not the two that you had seen. I have 4 children altogether. My oldest will be 24 or 25, lost count, and my second oldest, my son is going to be 24 or 25, and my girl's 22. Yes. I think. Oh, I hope she's not watching. And then I have my 16-year-old, my 13-year-old. You lose count after time. But she works with special needs. This is my oldest girl. She works with special needs individuals. And she brought us coloring things. She asked if we wanted things to color. And I said, definitely. We all said yes right away. And 2 of the coloring papers she gave us was a rainbow, and you can see right here is my rainbow. Let me take that down. here's my rainbow, and I'll keep it up throughout all of our posts and our live streams, so that I guess this can be counted into the 518 rainbows that you see. If you're stuck inside on quarantine or isolation, here you go. Here's one for the books. You can probably take a screen capture and say, I saw Teresa's rainbow. I was a little upset with this rainbow because it's missing a little hoop down here because it's supposed to be red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, then violet. Yeah, Roy G. Biv, right? And I had to split my rainbow, but I just wanted to be a part of that because I think this is such a happy thing to do. And if there are any other questions, I'm trying to look at my notes and make sure that we spoke about everything that I wanted to talk about. Any other questions? Yes, thank you for posting that website, 2020census.gov. It does, for 10 years. 10 years. So a lot of, I know, it feels like the census happens like every few years, but it's actually every 10 years. And being a historian, I really fully appreciate the census. I am my family's historian, so being able to follow my family back over 500 years here in America, 450 years, actually almost 500 years here in America, including my Native American roots, really, 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 it's really important. You think 100 years from now, you want your descendants to know who you were, where you lived during the 2020 viral outbreak, and just know who you are, period. I'm always about history and looking forward to what the historians will be looking back at. So please get counted. This will affect you for 10 years if you do not get counted. Do I have any more questions from anyone about anything? You better. I'll share your rainbow in the face. Oh, yay, Noni, thank you. Do you want me to put that up? I don't know if you got an image of it or not. I definitely need to share my rainbow. I got up 7-something this morning. A little late for me. I'm usually up at like 4, but 7-something this morning, and I had seen the pile of the coloring papers, and I saw the rainbow sticking out, and I was like, oh my gosh. And she dropped off crayons as well. I think my daughter took the box of crayons and some paper mache stuff. So we're going to make little flowers and everything as well. Maybe make a flower rainbow or something. Oh, okay, Noni, thank you. But I really appreciate my baby for doing that. She dropped off some really essential tools and supplies for my rainbow. Oh, I guess I gotta put it back up. So just in case anybody wants to see it, that's my rainbow. I think I did a good job, although my 13-year-old was critiquing why I colored it this way. I told her I wanted to be stripy. She was not happy. She proceeded to color her own rainbow and make it look better with her opaque chalk. So, all right, if there are no more questions. Oh, yes, thank you so much for asking. Yes. So if you need, again, you can go to teresaforsenate.com for daily updates. If you want to know more about my campaign, if you would like to get involved, if you would like to donate, we are still, we still are in need of funds. This is a campaign, and unfortunately, even during this time, we need to raise funds so we can get those people who do not have internet, get them information, make sure that they're updated as much as possible. So if you want to get involved, you want to know more about the campaign, teresaforsenate.com. You can also email us any information at teresaforsenate@gmail.com. Hi, Angelina. How are you? I hope everything's well with you. Also, you have any questions, concerns, if you have any needs, if especially within the 49th Senate District, if you need to know where resources are or not sure, you can give us a call, give us an email at teresaforsenate@gmail.com, teresaforsenate@gmail.com. There's a link in the post and in the comment section, and also on the Facebook. You can also find us on Twitter, Instagram. My daughters are telling me to start a TikTok. I have absolutely no idea what I would do on a TikTok. Trying to think of any other social media, I think, but Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook for now. And if you can't volunteer, please, $2, $3, $4, $5, as much as you can, please. We need to really raise money. We are running against a Republican. We need to take this red seat. We need to secure our hold on the Senate. We need one more vote to make sure that we get Medicare for all. We need as many Dems voting for our interests, for our needs, who understand where we're coming from, where we're at. And that's me. This seat has been traditionally white male and male forever. And I know for sure that I bring that people perspective. And I know a lot of our current electeds that are who often say, I am of the people, for the people. And a lot of them have not lived the lives that we have lived. They have not experienced normal, everyday things. They've experienced very privileged time. Here we go. I think we're back. All right, so I'm going to end it anyway. Seems like this is the rush for the internet. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. I'll see you tomorrow for Tea with Teresa. And any questions, or if you need any help finding any resources, teresaforsenate@gmail.com. You can send us an email, or you can go to teresaforsenate.com. Thank you. Stay healthy. Stay safe. Stay inside. Talk to you all soon.